Let's talk about soloing in 3/4 and 6/8. When you are dealing with less space in the measure, a whole omitted quarter note, you have to recalibrate your playing to suit that. Now, we are all very used to 4/4. You don't really have to think about 4 if you're past a certain level. You just kind of feel how many notes are in the measure. Right? I sort of have this feeling of the symmetry of 4 because it's so built into me. But with 3, maybe you have to think a little bit. And the way to do that is to just make some note accounting, rhythmic accounting in your brain to tell yourself, well, how many of this subdivision do I have in a measure? So the simplest way is maybe thinking about eighth notes. If I have 3 quarter notes, that means I have 6 eighth notes in a measure. So take a groove like... Nothing fancy, right? The way they play a gypsy waltz. Something like that. And just start thinking about 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and maybe start finding some lines that sit neatly in that pocket. Not fancy, nothing special. Now, the reason most people have trouble is when changes start happening, you're not used to switching and hitting the changes on the nose at those exact spots. So maybe you have kind of spillover from one tonality to the other, which is fine when you're in control of the situation. You don't have to switch when the chord switches all the time, but it needs to be voluntary. When it's involuntary, it's where you start drifting into I'm eating shit territory. So just take the simplest of progressions, like a 5-1 or a 1-5, whatever you want, and just start switching between 2 scales in time. So I'm just gonna take a G minor and a D7. But I'm gonna play different shit on each one. I'm gonna go from G Dorian to maybe D altered. So G Dorian, E flat melodic minor. G Dorian, E flat melodic minor. But I wanna play 6 notes on each measure. So it's gonna be 12 notes, because it's 2 measures of G, 12 notes of that D7. So 12 notes coming from G Dorian, 12 notes coming from E flat melodic minor. I'm not counting up to 12, I'm really thinking about 2 groups of 6 on each one. So maybe I'm gonna go like... It's not gonna be the best lines, it's just to teach my dumb, talentless, useless brain at the moment till I get this skill, then it's gonna be my amazing brain, how to hear the change and hit it on the nose, right? One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that might be the first thing I do. Then I'm gonna switch to maybe triplets and now do the same accounting. Now that's gonna be trickier because I have 9 and 9, 18 notes inside each tonality. Let's slow it way down, like 1, 2, 3. Now, 16th notes. 24 inside each one, right? Obviously, I played some eighth notes, slowed it down a little bit at some points, but the idea is that in my brain, I still can hear this change. You can do it with any subdivisions. Obviously, it gets real shreddy at fast tempos. Like if I do 6 stoplets, that means it's like 36 notes inside each one of these things. Obviously, I'm not thinking about 36 notes. I might just be thinking about groups of 6 on those pulses, and I just feel the pulses moving. So maybe like... As long as I can still keep time in my brain, I'm going to be connected to it. So I hope that this sort of thinking brings you closer to feeling it, because once you can feel it and internalize those amounts of pulses and have the confidence that you know how time is moving, then you're going to have the confidence to subdivide and to do all these things just like you play in 4/4. Cool. Subscribe to the channel, click all the things, like it, unsubscribe from our competitors, of course, and join our Patreon. We'll see you next time.